Hey guys, Eric and Eric here, and I've got to say, last night's episode of The Walking Dead, very kind of slow-moving, slow build, kind of emotional story with a big kind of shocking ending reveal, right?
Yeah. The episode before that ending, which I think we have a lot to say, was definitely one about mourning and, dealing with the deaths that had happened. I thought the stuff with Amy and Andrea was great. It really played to their expectations again because Amy's going to wake up and be a zombie, but we're expecting her to jump up and grab her.
Exactly.
I really liked how it was slow, like becoming a zombie, showing that transformation.
Yeah.
So that was really good, but then we also kind of did it with Jim and saying goodbye to him. But it did make the episode kind of feel pretty slow-paced, especially because it's such a short season. And also there were some things that I felt were not as strong as they could have been.
Yeah, I mean, just to backtrack a little bit, we find out, obviously, that Jim gets bitten during the attack the night before. He's trying to hide it from the rest of the survivors, but it gets revealed. And sure enough, slowly but surely, he starts to turn. And it's actually that kind of portion of the storyline is ripped right out of the comics because ultimately they do what they do in the books, which is just kind of leave him up against a tree in the forest. He wants to be left. He's hoping that maybe as a zombie, he'll be able to find his wife and kids.
Yeah, and all that stuff was well done and well acted. I just didn't have that much momentum. One thing I gotta complain about too, though, is Merle Dixon, actually, who's, again, not in the episode, but wasn't even really mentioned, and I thought that was very strange. I mean, last time they were like, oh my god, he's coming back to the camp, and they were worried about him. This time they don't even really talk about him, and you think Daryl will be like, wait a second, what if my brother shows up here? Whether he'd offer to stay or whether he'd say, I'm going to leave a note too. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Right.
Rick's leaving a note for Morgan, but, Daryl's not even talking about his brother who's out there missing his hand somewhere.
Right, exactly. And the whole purpose of the note is because they decide to uproot their camp and take a trip to Atlanta, specifically to the CDC. They figure, look, it's going to be a pretty heavily fortified and protected base.
Yeah.
They've got to be working on a cure. We got to get there. And they do. And we find it's kind of a shocking revelation that we get there.
Yeah, because we've taken some tangents from the comic book before with, little things like the nursing home and whatnot. But this is the first time when it's like, this is a major turn. This is a major new way to go for the show, which is this whole CDC thing and, what's going on inside that building.
Right. And so it gave me I had two instant feelings. One, the episode obviously ends with them pounding on the door. It opens up, a bright light shines out. It was a very kind of season finale kind of feel.
Yeah.
But this was only episode 5, so there's one more episode.
Right.
So that was interesting. And two, my mind just instantly went to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the whole underground base and almost like maybe they're going to combine the storyline of the prison from the comic book with this kind of Resident Evil vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know, like, how much are they going to diverge. I do hope they get to the prison, but, for now, it'll be... my main thing is, I don't know yet what to think about this storyline. We didn't get enough of it, but I'm intrigued. Seeing that one scientist in there, guy who's saying maybe he'll kill himself the next day, it's kind of a cool turn. You just want to see where's it going to go.
Yeah, so we're kind of undecided. We want to know what you think. Specifically, what do you think about the addition of the CDC in this episode? Why don't you comment on it below or go ahead and log into your MyIGN account and write up a blog. We're going to choose the best ones. We're going to feature it alongside our Walking Dead content all this week.
Yeah, and see you next week to talk about the finale.
All right.